All right, shalom, y'all. Brother Apollos. Got a quick video on what an inverter is, or what is an inverter. An inverter is a device that's used to power a house, or it could be a tiny house, or it could be an RV, could be any type of little cabin you have, or anything like that, where you don't have electricity ran from the street or ran from the government. This is a way where you can create your own electricity, which you have many different ways you can create the electricity, but this is the way you actually be able to use it. So I'm gonna show you. What this is a 2,000 watt inverter. Now this is pretty small. This ain't, no huge inverter, but and then show this. It's not too huge, but it do the job as far as on a small cabin or something, maybe a couple rooms. As long as you're not running no strong appliances like a dryer or a big range stove or a big range AC, like a regular huge house AC. You can't run that type of stuff off of this. Not off this one specifically, but they got other ones that you can run it off of. And of course, it'd be a lot higher power, a lot more money. This one I think was about $250 or $260. I can't remember, something like $260 or something like that on Amazon. But the inverter takes the power from battery power, which is DC power, and it turns it into AC power. DC to AC power. AC power is the power that's running in your house, to where you can plug up anything, fans, TVs, anything that's in your house that's plugged up is ran off of AC power. I don't know. I know I didn't know it for a long time. When I found out, it definitely made a huge difference. And I think brothers should know and understand the way power works, to where they ain't got to pay all this money for these companies to be taking your money for no reason. Because they ain't doing nothing but giving you the same thing. It's the same power. But again, this one 2,000 watts, 4,000 peak. That means like if you got a, say a deep freezer or something like that, that start up, it have it run at a continuous 1,500 watts. But then when you start it up, it have a jolt of 2,500 watts just to get it started. This could take that jolt. That peak power is for when it's jolting up to start anything. A lot of them have a higher power outage on pretty much everything when you start it up. So that's what that extra top part is, where it say 4,000, where it look like it's double, but it's just for a few seconds it'll allow that. But the continuous power, again, it go at 2,000. But you gotta have you some nice big cords to go with it, battery cords or battery cables, because you're gonna be running off huge batteries. This here is a regular lead acid battery. You really don't want to run off of that. You know what I'm saying? That's more so a car battery, but if you're in a crisis situation, you can still plug that lead acid battery, car battery, up to here, positive and negative. And again, you can get AC power out of here. Same power that come right there. So it's all tied in together. It just, again, it's the way you wire it up. And honestly, these could be done without this. It's just a matter of the way you wire it. But these make it simple and easy for us to understand. So you got your on off switch, all that on here, but that's all done with a remote. A remote there, right there. You got to plug into the thing. But again, this is an inverter. All right, that's what it changes power from DC to AC, to where we can, do regular stuff in the household. Now, it's not saying they ain't battery powered regular lights, but of course, it ain't gonna be able to power what you want, especially for the time period that you want it. Now, the good thing about having one of these is, and I'm gonna touch on more in the next video on the solar series or whatever, the power series, is you can take this inverter and you can also wire it into your house. Not just plug plugs in here. Because if you plugging plugs in here, you can only get so much out of it. I believe it's 20 amps for these 4 circuits. For these 4 circuits, you're only getting 20 amps out of this circuit. Just like the same way in your household there, you're going to be getting 20 amps on that circuit. So you're not going to get much. You can plug in 4, and you think you're getting everything you can out of it, but it's more power in here to get. So, but the way to get that power is you got to run through this line and neutral and power. I mean line, neutral, and ground. But this is not hard to run. It's beginner friendly, and you get you a couple solar panels. You run your regeneration power through the solar panels, and you also run your regeneration power through, say for instance, a car or any type of DC motor that you can use to charge your batteries. They have regular DC chargers everywhere. And here's one that I'm making myself. So this here is a regular alternator, right? Now, when you take the alternator apart, it shows you the different parts of the alternator and what they do. This is the stator. No, this is the rotor, this part here. And this part here is the part that causes, they call the stator, the part that causes the electricity. I keep taking it off camera. I ain't done this in a minute. I'm not the cameraman, man. I don't know too much about the camera. But anyway, these 3 wires here, you can wire together. And once you put power through, where is it? Where the damn brush? Here you go. Here's the brushes for it. I gotta get some more because my little thing broke off. But you gotta have 2 brushes coming in here. The brushes meet up with this right here. Positive and negative going into that. Once you got positive and negative that's going into here, and then you can get power out of here. That's how a DC motor works. There's many different ways it works, but that's one way it could work. You could also wire it up like the way a normal alternator is already wired up without doing all that, and use it where you get your power. Where is it? You get your power out of here instead. So it's the same type of alternator that you can wire up differently, but you can get your power from a different source or from a different form. Difference is when you wire this up a certain way, you're gonna get AC power out of here. They usually have the hell is that thing called? It's a device that go on top of these 3 to keep them from pumping out the power that is normally supposed to pump out. So if you snap that part off, and you actually wire these direct, you can get the actual AC current, which again is this current right here. But if you have it wired up this way, this is converting it to the DC current. That thing I'm talking about, where that mug at? It's right here in the top. I think it's called a voltage controller. I think I'm messing it up, but don't matter. This thing right here is controlling all the power from turning into DC power. So you take that out, you can get all of the AC power direct, and still you have to use other motors that you would attach to it. And once you attach those motors to this rotor, that rotor is what pushes the power out. So it got to be rotating like this here. See, this one ain't, I gotta put that one back together, but y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get the point. That's just, again, another form of power to power your batteries. The batteries is what's going to be powering the whole thing. Whether it be a big house or whatever, it could be small. It don't matter. It just, you got to have some type of battery backup to where if stuff start going haywire, you got some, the grid cut off or whatever. You got something that uphold your little appliances, your refrigerator, freezer, and you'd be able to at least keep the food that you did stock up. So a lot of people stocking up a whole bunch of food, and then damn power go out, they ain't got nothing. So what I am doing is making solar generators and power generators, period, where they'll be able to be powered off of solar or powered off of any type of alternator power or motor power. So y'all get at me if y'all interested in, chopping it up on that. It's not as hard as you think, but I'm electricity dude, man. I like electricity. Been dealing with it for a little minute now, and it's fun to me. So this is the type of stuff I like to do. Just an example. I put this little light in here. That's not nothing, all right? It's the way. See it coming out of this box here into this box. And I took that from this. Yeah, I know all this ain't even necessary, right? But this here is from an extension cord. A regular extension cord like this one. But I wired it up to go into this light right here. Into this switch. Why? Because I ain't want to go into the wall with it. You know what I mean? But it still worked. I hit the switch over here and it cut off. Because that's the power to the circuit. Because it's plugged up again from here. Just a little something I had fun with, man. Like I said, I like this electricity stuff, man. I like it. But anyway, like I said, this part one to my little solar power series. I'll be trying to get at brothers, help brothers, get on note with this power thing, man. It's a lot to do with it, but it's simple. A lot of positive and negative. Till next time, man. Shalom.